Okay, so I these look god awful. Whatever. Um, so I have an issue with the game. Um, not with the game, with one decision that you make in the game that the game doesn't tell you you're making. The game is Until Dawn. Came out a few days ago, and I'm wearing my headphones again. So the game I have an issue with is Until Dawn, and um, probably everyone that knows this game knows the issue I'm talking about. Because I haven't played it myself. I'm not really into horror games, but I find it interesting to watch other people. And every single person I've seen play that game has gotten pissed off at this. Every single one of them. And it's a decision that gets one of the characters in the game killed. The character's name is Matt. So, yeah, Until Dawn is a horror game that's based completely around just horror cliches. Just absolute, like, any cliche you can think of for the horror genre in the 90s and early thousands. This game has it, um, which makes it amusing, especially to watch other people play. I'm not much of a horror fan myself, but watching other people freak out is hilarious. The issue I got, and the issue I see with a lot of people, and I've seen this justified, and I'm here to refute it, is there's an issue. The game is about um a bunch of kids. I think there's 8 of them. Go up to a ski lodge on a mountain and end up bad things happen. They have to survive until dawn. Surprise. There's a point where you have the game makes the game emphasizes the butterfly effect. The idea that any small decision, any small thing that happens, can have a massive effect. Um, uh, can have a massive outcome later on. The standard thing that's used with butterflies is the flap of a butterfly's wings today can cause a hurricane weeks from now, which is technically true, but that's an oversimplification of the butterfly effect. The actual butterfly effect, the scientific version. But whatever. Uh, so you're okay. I'm just gonna lay this out first in the context of the game, because the point I want to make is that the game does not give you enough context to make this decision. So um um you so there's 2 characters, Matt and Emily, I believe is her name. No, I'm not getting those characters mixed up. Matt and Emily. Uh, and at this point in the game, you're playing as Matt. Um, you come out of a lodge and are going down to the cable car that brought you up the mountain where the ski lodge is. And you go past a gate, and the gate locks behind you. Uh, every single time I tell this, I forget to mention, um, Matt and Emily just heard that one of their friends got cut in half with a saw blade. So there's a killer on the mountain with them. And then they get locked out of the lodge. They go to the cable car where the cable car is and find that there's an axe lodged into the front of the door. This is all for context. You then proceed to get you then proceed to find a you proceed to find out that the cable car has no electricity and the key that turns the engine on is gone. Turn around and find a map that shows the location of a fire tower um, it's hinted that said tower has a radio that you can use to call for help, and Emily, the character with you, wants to go to the tower. At this point in time, the game gives you a decision. Do you want to go to the fire tower, or do you want to try and go back to the lodge? 9 out of 10 people say they want to go to the fire tower because that's where the game is pointing you towards, and the door to the lodge is locked. The gate is locked. Um, Now, this decision can get Matt killed because this decides when you get to the tower, you can find a flare gun. This flare gun can be used as a weapon if Matt doesn't immediately fire it, which he does if you chose to go to the fire tower. Now, that doesn't make any sense with the context that you're given. I'm not going to go into any details about how he dies, but that gets him killed. It with how the game plays out, it's very, very likely to get him killed, and you can't do anything about it. So you have a situation where you've been given no context for a decision, and you're just supposed to roll with it. And the issue with this is, I don't think the developers did it on purpose. I think they mixed something up because you're given context for your decision after, like right after you make it. Like if you pick to go to the fire tower, then Matt says, "Yeah, it's a good idea. We should signal somebody," specifically using the word signal. If you choose that you want to go back to the lodge, Matt instead says, "I don't think it's a good idea to draw attention because there's a killer around somewhere. He's nearby. There's an axe in the door. Someone's nearby. So maybe we shouldn't draw attention to ourselves." No matter which one you pick, you're going to the fire tower anyways. You're going to the tower. The game is setting you up to go to the tower. But which one of those choices you decide, which one of those you choose decides whether or not Matt thinks it's a good idea to signal to draw attention to themselves, and that decides whether or not he fires the flare gun when he gets it. And if he doesn't, then he has it to use as a weapon later, which can save his life. Which would have been very useful for a lot of people. The issue is that you're not given any of that context when you make the decision. The context you're given is, do you want to go here or there? Keep in mind that we're pushing you towards there. That's the biggest problem I have. There's no weight to the decision that you're given. You're just like the game gives you a decision to make that doesn't seem to matter at all because it also tells you that one of those decisions is heavily implied to be the right one, when in fact it's objectively worse. I mean, one decision makes it so that Matt fires the flare gun, in which case he doesn't have it as a weapon. The other makes it so that he doesn't fire the flare gun, so he does have a weapon. The so one and that's all that happens. So one of them is objectively better than the other, and the game is telling you that the one that is objectively worse is the option you should pick. It There's no reason to pick the other option unless you specifically want to get in a fight with Emily. That's the only reason that anyone would pick to do it. There's no other reason. You don't have a reason to go back to the lodge. As well as you were given a reason why you can't go back to the lodge. The gate is locked. It's not much of a reason, but you could climb the gate. It's not much of a reason. You could climb the gate, but you know, it's a game. When you're told that a door is locked behind you, you assume that you can't go back, and that's how this works. And that's my whole issue. If they had given context, if they had said, rather than the choice being, do you want to go to the fire tower or do you want to go to the lodge, if the choice was, if they just reworded it, if they give you a different question, do you think it's a good idea to signal someone? Do you think it's a bad idea to signal someone? That gives a completely different context. It gives the idea of, well, maybe it's not so much of a good idea to signal somebody because there's a killer on the loose. Maybe even if they had just made the decision, do you agree with Emily or do you not agree with Emily? because Emily's whole character is that she's, for lack of a better word, she's a bitch. That's her entire character. And so I've seen several people that chose every opportunity they could to fight with her just because they didn't like her. Um, and some of those people didn't. And if the if the choice you had to make was, do you agree or disagree with Emily? Again, that would be a little fairer, because just if you want to, that would be a little fairer because it makes it seem that um what you're saying will have an impact on with Emily. Just the decision that you're given feels like it has no impact on the game at all, and it has a very big impact. That's my problem with it. It should have been designed better. I don't think it was done on purpose. I don't know. It annoys me a lot. It really annoys me that that decision carries a lot of weight but doesn't give you context for the like, you're given a question that's not the question you're answering. You're told to make a decision and you don't know what the decision you're making is until after you've made it. The game gives no indication that you have no idea what you're deciding on before doing it. Not even an indication of what's better or not. Just, I find it annoying. I wanted to rant about that. I really wanted to rant about that. That was pissing me off. Hopefully something a little nicer next time. So what channel did I put this on? What was the what is the channel name I picked? Mental Mind Games? Sure, that'll work. It's Mental Mind Games. I'll be back from my voice cracked. This is great. This is going to be a great video. I'll be back with another rant later.